Alright, this is gonna be a quiz test of Geforce Now. This is gonna be testing the free basic plan and gonna try it on Ghost Runner, and I'm gonna try to explain Geforce Now if you haven't heard of it or not sure. A little bit quick of pros and cons. First I'm gonna try to turn down volume here because this isn't gonna be about the game per se, but maybe we can have some background noise. Let's do that. Yes. So. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Oh, alright. We're gonna get into the game here. Might need to turn. I'm gonna turn this down just a smidge. Saves. Alright, hopefully. We're not gonna tweak the settings. You can in this, but I'm just gonna. I don't know if this. Let's see. Right, I can enable that. This is like the basic settings that I believe that the game itself, like Geforce Now, applies this thing, right? Default settings, and we're gonna just go with that. See how it feels. Looks like I'm going smooth here. Let's do a new game. Yes, game. I'm gonna have to remember the clock here. So, Geforce Now, the basic things. Well, there's a cutscene here. Can I get?
You're alive. Can you hear me? They are already looking for you.
Okay. Whoa.
Relax.
Whoa. Okay, I need to change the sensitivity of that. Before we can even do anything.
Your implants are still adjusting to the software.
And I also have to remove motion blur. I cannot handle motion blur. There we go.
I can calibrate only your basic protocols from in here.
Right.
It'll have to suffice for now.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna pretty much turn. I'm sorry. It seems to be a bit too loud there. I'm gonna turn it off, so I don't have to focus on it. Audio, everything. So Geforce Now pretty much is a computer that you rent online. But this is free mode, so you can actually try this for yourself to see how it's gonna work for you. Feels so much better again than Ghost Runner 2, just the base speed. Ooh. And the basic, free program that you can run, you don't get a high-end computer that you can't get rent, you don't get, the ray tracing support, you're limited to 1080p 60 frames per second and stuff like that. But you can try to see how it's gonna work for you, because the biggest problem is gonna be latency, right? Because you're running an application on your computer. Your computer can be quite slow. It doesn't have to be fast. In case there even is some, I believe, Samsung televisions that has support built in for Geforce Now. So much better than the second game. Ooh. Cool, I don't think I've been down here. So yeah, latency is going to be the problem because you are running an application, Geforce Now application, or it's supported in the web browser on your low-end computer. And every time you press a button, it will send that button press, to your computer. The application will then send it to the NVIDIA servers. And the NVIDIA servers, will render the game and, take your input and everything. And then it will send it to your computer again. Your Geforce Now application there on your computer will then display it on your monitor or TV or whatever you have enabled. So that is the biggest thing, that, you press on the button, and if you have, problem with your internet connection, it can take longer times, it can go smooth. I live in Sweden. I have a high quality internet connection. It is 250 megabits per second up and down at the moment. But this is supposed to work from ranging from, I would say it's recommended to have like 50, but I'm sure it's gonna work down to maybe 10. The most important thing is going to be latency again. How long it takes for something to, for your, how good your latency is in your connection. It's not just about how much speed, because I could upgrade my speed to 1 gigabyte per second. It wouldn't, make latency better, really. What it would do, it would be make the image quality better, right? The higher, connection speed that you have, the more like bitrate you can assign to the image quality. So again, this is the basic one. Let's go through a quick thing here. So the basic one, you don't get any ray tracing. You can only play for 1 hour. You have to be in a queue waiting for your time to play. You can get an upgrade for $10 per month, and then you will get ray tracing and you will get quicker access. You will jump the queue so you can play faster. You can play 6 hours at a time, then you have to queue up again. You're limited to 1080p and you can only get 60 FPS at most. That's $10 per month to rent this kind of computer on the distance. You can also upgrade to a $20 per month computer plan here, which gives you the latest Geforce RTX 48 power. You get ray tracing, you get exclusive access to special RTX 48 servers. That should mean you get as quickly as possible into start gaming. You can game 8 hours at a time without having to queue up. You can stream in 4K resolution and you can get all the way up to 120 frames per second, which I think these plans shouldn't be too separate, but I see why they are. I think they should be one. But basic here, you are limited to 1 hour session. You have to wait a longer time. You can only no ray tracing and exclusive stuff like that. But it's good to test the latency, because that is going to be the biggest problem. Because when I attack, I want it to happen as quickly as possible. I did a network test that is available in the Geforce app and I got excellent performance. I am lucky. I highly, if you before buying or trying anything, like, get the Geforce Now app, go into the settings and run a network test. Mine was excellent. I had 3 millisecond ping to the Geforce servers, which just is amazingly good. 3 milliseconds is pretty much, you're not really going to feel it. And that's why I'm playing this game here. Shift while moving to dash. Oh, well, that's worked. Yeah, 3 milliseconds isn't gonna be working. And I'm trying this because I didn't try Stadia, but I've tried the Steam Link that is local within your network. And sometimes you can notice the input lag. And I'm sure this isn't going to be if you're gonna play competitive, Overwatch, Counter-Strike, Valorant, no. But if you are, high quality, just some gaming, FPS or 2D gamings, I gotta say I'm impressed. At least for me in Sweden, with a good, fiber connection, the latency is awesome. I can't tell a difference. When I press the slash, it feels immediately. This feels like I'm playing on my own computer. It is actually really, really great. 1080p is definitely looking, not great, right? But it is very playable. It's just very playable even on 1080p. The biggest problem that I have right now is it's forced a borderless full screen window. which meaning that I have to play this in 4K because that's my resolution. I'm sitting like one arm length away from a 55-inch 4K TCL CH35 television using as a monitor. 1080p streamed is not the best, most sharpest thing that I'm looking at, and it's gonna be even worse for you because I'm recording this worse quality, uploading to YouTube. That's gonna worsen the quality, but you get a little bit of a hint. And again, you can try this for absolutely free, and I think that is great because that means, again, it is the latency. So you should try a game that you feel you need good input for. I'm sure that if you go like trying, you can feel a little bit of a different in the input, but it is like, this is really impressive. I'm not gonna lie. I'm thoroughly impressed. I was not thinking that I could play a game like this that that needs this kind of good needs good input latency without without having a problem. It's working really well. That's everything I can really tell about that. And this feels just so much more smoother than the goes on a 2-game loop. Oh man, this is such a good game. So what are the drawbacks? I've mentioned latency, right? And that is going to be depending on where you live. I don't know exactly which countries that support this. I know that it supports like USA and like Europe. And it's gonna be like, how good connection can you get to Geforce Now? So again, for free, just get the application. You need an NVIDIA account, fortunately, but and run the network test. See kind of like if the ping is I guess 0 to like 10 or 15, it's probably gonna be good experience. But again, you can try it. Absolutely 100% free. There is one thing, that is the biggest thing that I have with this. It's not actually that it costs money. $10 for like the medium rig and $20 for the high-end rig. That is not really the problem. The biggest problem here is that you're renting a computer. You're not renting games. So you can only play games that you own. But I do believe that Geforce Now supports Fortnite from Epic Games. So that's a free game that you can try 100% without owning any games at all in this service right now, and should be good for testing latency. There's also a 2D game demo, Soda Crisis, that you can play, and they have other like free games that you can, theme games that you can try. But yeah, basically, if you want to play Ghost Runner like I'm doing right now, you need to buy it on, preferably, I think Steam is the one that is supported. And then you need to, either use the free service. So either you're gonna use the free service and you can only play like 1 hour at a time and 1080p 60 frames per second and no ray tracing and stuff like that. Or you're gonna have to own Ghost Runner and pay $10 per month, and you can get a little bit nicer ray tracing activates and stuff like that, and you can play 6 hours at a time, and you get quicker access to the queue. The queue times can be long on the free plan, so you gotta really be prepared for that. Or you can pay $20 and you get 4K streaming if your bandwidth can handle that, because I'm not 100% sure. Can I check that? I'm trying to do a quick little peek here. Performance. Ethernet. So right now I'm streaming 1080p at around 30 to 40 megabit per second. So 4K probably gonna need up to 100 megabit per second connection, internet connection, for it to look decent. But that's going to depend on, are you planning on play in 4K monitor? Are you going, for a television or whatever? Do you think that 1080p is fine? I think the biggest, definitely for me, is the latency, because if it is feeling like I'm clicking and then the attack happens late, or that my movement means that I'm moving left and then it takes a while before me moving left, that would be, the worst thing. Having a blurry image or like that doesn't deteriorate or destroy the playing experience in the same way. And again, this is just for me, again, in Sweden here, using the Northern European like Geforce Now servers on the free balance plan. Like, it's just, I cannot, honestly, with my, experience here in this game and everything, I can't tell like a difference really between locally playing or playing it. Whoa, okay. Or playing it through the Geforce Now. It is really nice. Been a while since I played this with mouse and keyboard, so I'm probably dying more, and it's not due to latency, it's just due to me trying to play with mouse and keyboard actually. I'm so used to just play this Wii with my Steam controller, so I'm like a little bit of out of connection with just a normal Wii keyboard mouse. But yeah, latency is not an issue. I would say that even on 1080p here, and it's a full screen borderless window on my 4K screen here, 55 inch that I'm sitting close to, it still is perfectly fine looking. It looks, soft and a little bit of smoochy, but yeah, not too bad. And using, 30 to 40 megabyte per second. I highly recommend it if you have a low-end computer and you're thinking that I can't really afford to shell out for like an RTX 4080 computer or something like that. Give this free balance plan of GeForce Now a try. If its latency feels good, you can try a month of the medium and see how that plays out. Again, the biggest problem that I have with this is it should have had game included, right? You should have been able to rent games. Having to buy the game separate is the biggest deal breaker that I can see with this going forward. Because if you have to pay, for new game like $60 or $50, and then you have to put another $20 on top of that per month, it can feel a little bit weird that you're renting a computer but you don't rent any games and like that. So that's like the one of I feel is like the bigger drawbacks. Okay. Oh, there we go. yeah, for me at least, again, this is Sweden I'm living in, and I'm using the Geforce Now Northern European servers. Latency is not an issue. Which I think is really impressive, actually. Because this is a game that requires, low latency to hit and to move and dodge. That's why I'm using this one to try. I was thinking of trying the free Soda Crisis demo, but unfortunately the queue time was quite long, and I just tried this and I happened to get in quicker to this game. So yeah, I think this is a good thing to like end here, to try to just summarize the things. Oops. Like summarize what the Geforce Now is. Whoa, okay, that's this is just me, Again, it's not not about the game here, it's just about me and me trying to be good. So yeah, again, let's try to summarize this video, right? If you haven't heard about Geforce Now, so Geforce Now is, it's a computer that you rent on that are, far away from you, that you can connect to through the internet for gaming only, right? So you can have, Geforce Now can sometimes be built into some televisions like Samsung. Then you can, hook up a controller to your Samsung TV, and then you can log in, use Geforce Now directly on your TV. That is awesome, right? And yeah, so you can have a low-end computer at home, a laptop or something like that, or just some, not powerful computer, and you can install or even run the Geforce Now application through Geforce Now through your web browser. It's recommended through the application, and I agree with that. So you start your Geforce Now application on your TV, your computer, laptop, whatever, and you will then connect to Geforce Now, like a computer that they can rent to you, or you can try for free in the basic plan. And again, the drawback is going to be that you will send your input from your computer to their computer, and then they will do all the thing there, and then it will send it back. So when you get to Geforce Now, go into the settings of the application and do a network test, see how your latency will be, or just try one of the free games and feel how latency is going to be. And obviously, since they are playing the game pretty much, the game is being played on their computers, it has to be sent to you just like through Netflix or something like that. It will be compressed, or when you're watching YouTube videos, they compress the video. So you will not get the same sharpness. You will get, you're playing the game on your own computer. Might be a little bit softer and have some, stuff here and there that, sticks out more or less. And again, it's good to try it. And you can just try, go for 1 month. You want that, try the 1080p plan or 60 FPS, or try the more expensive high-end plan that gives you 4K and up to 120 frames per second, if your device can support 120 frames, of course. So, but yeah, again, this, you can try this 100% free. The free balance plan, but you will have to wait. And this is actually quite interesting. here I can tell that this is 1080p that has been, you know, blown out to my 4K TV here that are very close to me, and it does not look good when it's being heavily compressed. I can barely see this kind of faint bridge in front of me. I can barely see it. And you know, but hey, it could still be a good option if you cannot afford, you know, to just buy a new powerful computer. It might be easier to afford to rent one. But again, you have to buy the games yourself. You have to have a Steam account, pretty much. They do support, I think, Ubisoft, so some games like that also. But I'm gonna just go with Steam because it's the easy, most common thing here. So you know, you have to own like a Steam account, buy the games, or if the games are free, there. This is what I really want to highlight, right? I'm saying that you need to buy games. The problem is that not all games are supported by Geforce Now, so it could be a good idea to, you know, within the Geforce Now app, buy the games or see if the games are supported. So you don't just go to Steam, oh, this looks like this is a new awesome game that's just been released. I'm gonna play this game. Because that might not work. Because the other thing is that games aren't being installed, you know, for you. It's Nvidia that shows that, okay, we want to have these games available, we have them installed, and you can play them. So you don't install games, right? You just instantly play games. That's really good. Like if a game is huge, you know, it could be 50, 100 gig, whatever. You don't have to install that game. You don't use any hard drive space on your computer. You don't have to, when you first want to play it through GeForce Now, you don't have to wait for installing or nothing. It is just instant. You just play the game because NVIDIA has already done that install. That also means that the NVIDIA will choose which game they want to install support for you to play. So you need to check to the GeForce Now app, okay, this is the game that I can play at this point in time. And this game is, you know, is not supported. And so you don't just spend money on games that you cannot play. But yeah, this is just a quick test because I like new little things. I, you know, very like interested in like frame gens and stuff like that. I wish I had an RTX 4080 so I could try DLSS 3. I'm very curious to dive into more of FSR 3. I did a quick test. I haven't done a video on it, but I did a quick test of that, and that was really impressive. So yeah, it's always a little bit like interesting to see like how. I was very curious, how would the latency and everything be? How would it feel? How would stuff feel? But this, I could play FPS games and, you know, games that requires good precision, low latency input, because I'm lucky to have a 3 milliseconds latency to my GeForce Now service, and my internet provider here are good and everything. But I know that in other places in the world, and depending on, you know, the closeness to the GeForce Now service for you, it might be a very, very different story. That's good that it is, you know, free. You can try this for free. You will get max 60 frames. You only get 1080p, no ray tracing or other stuff, but you can try the latency, which is the most important thing. So, right. I'm gonna quit game here. All right, yeah, there we go. That is this video, GeForce Now. I wanted to try that again, showcase it if you isn't aware of it or haven't heard of it. So again, you can try that for free. Get the GeForce Now application or to the web browser. Try how it runs. If it's, you can check if it is supported in your country. You can see how it works. But since I, you know, again, Ghost Runner is a game that requires very precise input. that's why it's so really incredible to see that this really works great. And if I can play Ghost Runner and feel no latency, and I also tried, not recorded, but I tried previously Soda Crisis, which is a 2D platforming game that also requires good input latency. I don't think there's any game that I cannot play. That doesn't mean that this again is gonna work as great as it does for me, for you. You know, again, it's your internet connection, how good of a latency that get you, how close you are to the Geforce Now servers, everything like that. But trying, the free one, and if it feels good, like playing it, just the latency, how long it responsive it feels to press a button and something happen, it might be worth trying out, the $10 plan or $20 plan 1 month and see how it goes. And just, think, okay, does it look like most of the games that I play are supported in Geforce Now? You can see that in the app itself and buy games through that application, I believe. To you connect your Steam to that and then you can buy, and the game that you buy should be yours. Like if you get a computer in the future, you should have them connected to your Steam account. They are yours forever. That's a pro. The con again is that you have to buy the games. It's not just renting like a streaming service like Netflix. You rent it and you watch movies. No, it's more like you can like you buy a movie and you can watch it in high quality, but you use like Netflix thing, if that makes any sense. So the games you own, but you play them on a computer far away from you that are hopefully more powerful than yours. Otherwise, it makes no sense to get Geforce Now. Geforce Now is only if you don't have a medium to powerful computer. Let's say you wanted to play a new release games and your computer isn't good enough. You could check Geforce Now. Okay, this game is supported in Geforce Now. Okay, I'm gonna buy this game. And then I'm gonna rent this computer to Geforce Now here for 1 month, and I'm gonna play this game. And you can do that, and have a good, nice experience and fun. So yeah, I'm really impressed. I was a really little bit on the fence. I'm like, oh, is this gonna be latency be terrible? No, it wasn't for me. Really, really, really great. I think it would have been great if they had a plan where you could get games included, so you don't have to buy games. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future there will be a service that has this kind of thing, but that you get the games like Stadia. It's kind of weird. Stadia, if Stadia had the same good latency and everything, I can see that it would be absolutely really, really popular, like for many people that just want a good, nice, non-competitive experience. I'm sure that you can even play a little bit of Counter-Strike or something on this, but you're not going to be on the pro level input here. But you can probably play a lot of PUBG or something like that and have a fun experience, because latency are good enough to have fun, but you're gonna, start competitively playing Valorant. That's probably where you're gonna start feeling that the latency isn't the greatest. But yeah, it's been really good, really fun to try. I'm not sure how I feel about the different plan. I see why they have them. The biggest for me drawback is that this Geforce Now application forces itself to full screen borderless window. And I would have liked, since I'm a special user case, right? I have a 55-inch TCL CH35 about an arm length away, 4K resolution, everything. Obviously, I don't want to play a heavily compressed 1080p game in full screen. I want it to be in a 1080p or 1440p. That if I were, for me, that would it would look a little bit better, because the blurriness wouldn't be zoomed in as much. And again, you know, I often play games in a 1440p window mode because that is like a 24-inch monitor, like an arm length away. It's experience. So that's the only drawback for me. So yeah, I recommend you, if you haven't tried Geforce Now, if you're thinking that, oh my god, playing games, you know, through the internet is terrible, I'd highly recommend you to try this. And I think that's a good thing to be open-minded, right? I see a lot of hate people like about FSR3 and DLSS3, like the frame gen thing, that, oh god, fake frames sucks ass, everything's bullshit, DLSS, and like, try it. I tried FSR3 and I was impressed by that also. I'm really would love to try DLSS3. You know, I wish I could have a 40, 60, 70, 80, you know, card just to try more of titles like that, because it's really fun to see the technology. And you know, since I have a medium range computer and I can play all the games so far, I haven't really looked into streaming. I only did that previously with the Steam Link because I had my computer in a different room and I wanted to play games on, you know, my TV, and so I streamed in my local network, and that was also, back then it was good enough, but performance was a little bit different. So playing games over the internet has, you know, hasn't really occurred to me. But since, you know, not can't afford a 4080, 4070 card, it might be a reality in the future, and real positive experience for me. I think it's good to be open to just, you know, look at things and don't be judging them without trying stuff. So if you are like, this sucks and haven't tried it, just, you know, it's free. Just try it. It might be just like everything you was thinking. It is low latency, everything sucks and blah blah blah. That's good, but then you gave it a shot. You have nothing to lose. GeForce Now. Again, the free plan that you can try. You can try, you know, some free games in GeForce Now. There are some that you can without any shelling any money at all. Try for free. You will have to be in a queue. The queue can be long, very long. There's no like timer limit or anything. It's just, you know, might be a ton of people before you, so you're waiting a long time in the free plan. Only 1080p and 60 frames per second. No ray tracing or extra oomph like that. But you can try the latency. You can then get the $10 plan. I think they are going to increase the prices even more. I don't think that's really good. The pricing right now is okay-ish. But for $10 per month at this point in time, you can play 6 hours at a time. Then you have to queue up again. You will still have a queue, but the queue should be shorter for you because you are paying. You should get shorter queue time, right? Should be pretty decent, hopefully. And you get 1080p and you get 60 frames per second. You know, ray tracing can be enabled, and you get like maybe a 3080 graphics card. They don't specify that. Then for $20, GeForce Now plan, you will get access to exclusive 48 RTX 4080 gaming rigs, which would mean hopefully that you get the shortest queue time possible. You can play 8 hours at a time. That should probably be good enough for everyone. I think this is weird. Why is there a time limit? I do kind of see it. I can see that they might don't want people like, oh wait, I had to wait 1 minute before playing. You know what? I'm just gonna leave this game running overnight on my computer. I don't have to wait tomorrow. I can see that is the thing, that why they have this time limit, so people just don't leave games running, right? You know, I'm leaving it running. I can't come back. I think that's why. I can see that's why. So it's a bit weird, but also I understand the decision of the time limit. For the free plan, I 100% like see it. Would have been fun if the queue time wasn't as high, but it's free, so again, you can't really complain. But when you're paying for it, I hope that the queue times are not going to be more than like 1 minute or so. I can't try that. I don't feel I want to pay at this point in time because games so far I can run. But you know, again, even at 1080p, you can see the heavy compression, but it's not super awful or anything, which is still quite impressive that it's not that bad. And again, I was playing this in 55-inch 4K TV, an arm length from me. Everything is gonna look so much terrible than if I could have played it on window mode in like simulating like a 21 to 24-inch monitor size instead. It would have looked much better. So it's not terrible, and how good this look is gonna depend on the game. The game is like a heavy effect thing, like the last part of the Ghost Runner looks like shit because that is so hard to compress. If you're playing that on your own computer, it's crisp, nice, everything. But for it to be compressed, it unfortunately is going to make it mushy and glitching together and very, very bad because it is very difficult to compress, even at 30 megabyte per second, which is quite high. So, and I don't know how good 4K can even be done, like, because if you're playing at 4K 120 frames per second, even if you are streaming at like 80 megabit per second, it's still probably going to look like it's probably going to be very easy to see that, okay, this is being heavily compressed. I think the closest thing is to look at a YouTube video and be like, okay, this might be the highest quality that we might get. Hopefully it's close to that, so for you to know. But then again, it's $20. You can try that then 1 month. Yeah, this was a positive thing to try latency wise. So give it a go. Geforce Now. Stay tuned for more normal things here. It's not gonna be me recording Geforce Now game streaming from now on. Not at this point in time. I hope I can avoid that, but with prices skyrocketing, who knows, fortunately. But it was a pleasant overall gaming experience. I could easily play through Ghost Runner 1 and have done as good as if I was playing it on my own computer, and that is really, really impressive, and that is the best way to end this video on. Impressive, really good. Can finish even games that demand high input if you have, like me, good connection to the Geforce Now servers. So stay tuned for more normal stuff coming up, being played and recorded and streamed from my own computer hardware, at least in the near future here. Like, you can leave a comment, follow, check back to the channel, or if nothing else, have a great time and bye for now.